if we are people of goodwill, and I do understand that there are people who are not people of goodwill, and this is America, they have the right to do that. But for people of goodwill, who I happen to believe are the majority of people, they would want to, once they saw that they were stepping on somebody's toes, get off. That's what practical diversity allows you to do. By engaging in it, by figuring out what those messages are that you have around these issues of race and gender and national origin and LGBT status, once you do the work of actually thinking about what those messages are, you can then engage in the work of doing what you need to do, you specifically need to do to change them. Now, those messages will be different for all of us, but they have a lot of commonalities. Y'all, I have done this with thousands of people over the years, thousands of people. And it's startling just how similar the messages are. Women are basically supposed to be the homemakers. Men, even in this day and age, 2020, men are basically, and women are now 50% of the workplace. Men are supposed to be the breadwinners, even though women are the main breadwinners for something like 40-something% of households or more. So it really has an impact for us, but if we're not connected to it, we don't necessarily think about it. And when I say practical diversity, I want us to act it. That's part of the word practical diversity, act it. I want us to make decisions on the basis of what's real for us that we come to understand, as opposed to the stuff that's in our head that we've never thought about before. So engaging in actually doing the work of trying to figure out what's in your head about these different categories ends up being tremendously impactful. I actually came up with a website, practicaldiversity.com has one of its pages, Heartwork. And in that, it's a free resource that I've given to the public. What it does is it's sort of a one-stop shop to allow you to go in and do some of this work that I'm talking about. So you don't have to know, or look on your own for ways to be able to figure out, what do I do if I want to do more, if I want to be able to know what's going on. But think about the ways in which you can learn more, do more, be better at what it is you do, however it is that you are operating. Do the hard work of figuring out what all of this is based on. And then do the work of actually examining the messages that you've gotten to figure out how you can end up changing it to make it more inclusive of things that you have been taught, given messages about, been sort of exclusionary. Okay, being inclusive is what we're aiming for. Diversity, equity, inclusion, and belonging. And the truth is, isn't that what we all want to do? Isn't that the kind of society we all want to live in? And the truth is, I've seen it thousands and thousands and thousands of times. We can get there. It can make a difference to do the hard work of figuring out what your messages are, doing something about it, doing the work of actually looking at the kind of resources that are available there for you to give you some idea of what this situation is that you're looking at and how you can best change things to get to the point where you feel more comfortable about what's going on.
Today, we are absolutely delighted to introduce three remarkable guests. We're going to call them J, K, and L. And they're here to share their journey as a throuple. Yes, a throuple, also known as triad. In this dynamic relationship, we have two men, one woman, and all emotionally connected as equal partners, breaking the mold of traditional relationship structures and showing us the beauty of love in many forms. A throuple or triad is a romantic partnership where all three individuals are equally invested with no primary couple. Just the three people sharing love, respect, and partnership. This relationship is part of a broader world of polyamory, or consensual non-monogamy, where honesty, communication, and trust are at the very core. We're thrilled to explore the incredible benefits of this relationship structure, like deep emotional support, the joy of shared experiences, and the freedom to define love on your own terms. Of course, we'll also discuss the unique challenges. J, K, and L, your presence to our show is truly an honor, and we can't wait to hear all the candid insights, personal stories, and hear the advice that you have for anyone curious about throuples, polyamory, or redefining relationships in today's world. Let's celebrate the courage it takes to love authentically and learn from your inspiring journey. Welcome to the show, JK and L.
So this is a bit of a departure for us because generally we talk about very specific workplace issues under Title VII and sort of their implications. We've had some variations on the theme, but this was a particular one I thought would be of particular interest for a lot of reasons. And I'll tell you how it came about. Jay was one of my students. Oh my God, what year did you graduate? Years ago.
2011.
Okay,
Yeah.
11. So like 14 years
Yeah.
ago. But we stayed in touch, and I hadn't heard from him for a while. So I do what I do, which was I sent him a text with a heart and said, like, how are you doing? And when he responded,
It was actually just a heart. It was just.
Oh, it was just a heart.
It
That's
was
even
like,
more
it was
like
that,
me.
like, hey.
just let you know I'm
Here's the
thinking
heart,
about
yeah.
you and sending you love. And when he responded, he told me how he caught me up. He told me how his wife Kelly was. I had been to visit them before. So I knew her. I knew the kids. They had added one that they had sent me pictures of since I had last seen them. And after he caught me up on everything, he then said, there's a third person here, and sent me that picture. And I said, oh, okay, all right. What an interesting thing to have happen. Because remember, I've known him he graduated 14 years ago, but I knew him before that. We spent a lot of office hours time together. I had sort of been following him, and this seemed quite different than anything that I would have thought. If this had happened to any one of my students out of the thousands I've had, he would not have been the one that I would have said this would have happened.
Well, I think that's because we spent so much time with me in your rocking chair in that office talking about mine and Kelly's relationship.
That's true.
So you knew Kelly just as much as you knew me.
Yes.
I mean, we go to dinner, together often, and so it was you kind of knew me in the context. Yeah, knew me in the context of my relationship with Kelly.
Yeah,
we went to a museum together with your
that's right.
daughter and granddaughter.
Yeah. I came to Macon specifically to go to the Harriet Tubman Museum because you absolutely insisted that I needed to see it. So I took my family down there and visited with you, and we went to that museum. Right. And in the conversation on the way down there, my daughter and I started talking about writing a book together.
Yeah,
and
I remember that.
We ended up actually doing it. So rich background. And that's important for me to tell you, because this isn't something that just came out of the blue. This is somebody I've known for years, something that I thought once I heard it and we talked about it, that I thought everybody else would benefit from, because the through line for all of the things that we bring you that are usually pretty much directly related to DEI is we want to provide information. So much of what people have an opinion about, they don't have information about, and they take it for granted. And I'm not just saying this. This is after thousands of times of speaking with people where this becomes really clear. And we're not fighting about it. They say, oh my God, I just never thought about that before. It was just kind of what was in my head based on what I had gotten growing up. And they had very strong opinions about it. But once they found the information, they changed their mind. I didn't change their mind. And that's never my intent. My intent is to give you information upon which you can now make an informed decision. So I don't care how you come out on it, as long as it's not illegal. Okay, when I'm talking about the law, or it's not. Okay, but other stuff, you get to think however you want to, instead of being honest about what their weekend was like. Now, the reason that they have to lie or feel like they have to lie is because what they are living is not something that's generally accepted by society. But there has been a growing trend. Now, that may scare some people, but isn't there a TV show called like Mormon Wives or something? I think so. And it's pretty popular. My daughters have told me. So, the idea is not terribly new. It's just
Although I do have to interject and tell you that is not the same thing.
And you get to talk about that. But I want people usually will, when they are introduced to a new concept, what they usually do is go immediately to something that's like that they think of.
That's their context for it.
Yes, that's their context for it. But one of the wonderful things about having you here is that you get to talk about what the difference is. Okay. Yeah. So it's not, I say it's kind of a move away from what we usually do, but the truth is it really isn't, in the sense that we are all about diversity, equity, inclusion, and belonging. That is the whole purpose of the show, to inform people about what it is and how it manifests in the world. These are people in a workplace who will end up being there with this going on and not being able to share with you. When we finish, you may say, they don't need to share that with me. And that's fine. But at least now you know what it is. So with that, I will hand it over to the first question is sort of give us a bit of background about you and kind of how this ended up popping up for you.
Did you guys hear that?
That wasn't me?
Not it. That wasn't me.
What?
Well, no, it's the weird laugh.
You have a laugh line?
It's me. It's my, I didn't know you guys could hear it. The microphone is here. That's why you heard it before. Normally when I have my AirPods in, you can't hear it. That's my message on my computer that tells me the hours passed.
Oh, okay.
So it's the top of the hour, and I apologize.
That's okay. No, I was just a little confused. Like, where I was coming from. Is there a creepy dog?
Okay, we were funny. That was just weird time.
Yeah.
I know. The timing of it was so weird. And with that, would you like to
I did tell you that you were going to have to take that question, but
was there?
Okay. I'll take it.
No, I can take it. I'm sorry. Okay. What was the question again? The whole laughing. I just
sort of give us a bit of background, and each of you can do that.
Yeah. Like, why don't we? If you're supposed to, like, do like your individual, and then
Jay.
So you go.
I'm Jay. I have been married to Kay for 16 years.
Oh, tell them how long you've been together.
Been together for 21, almost 22 years.
Since they
in
were
October.
14. Since they were 14.
Yeah. High school sweetheart.
We've actually known each other since we were 11.
True.
I shut my finger in a door in 4th grade. It was all bloody. My mom had to come pick me up, and he laughed at me. And now we're married and have 3 kids.
That's pretty good. You know.
He was also assigned to me in 4th grade to help me remember where I put my papers and where I put my assignments, because I would do them and then they would just get lost. Yeah. So he was assigned to me. It's probably why he laughed at me when I shut my finger on the door.
Maybe.
But
God.
Good one. That's great. Bring up old wounds. Bring up the white literally.
Yeah, my thumb's still never been the same.
Yeah. But I'd say that the journey to this started many, many years ago, when Kay and I really started talking about our sexuality. You know, so because we had been together for so long, we had this like moment where we were just talking to each other, like, we think that like this is good and we enjoy it, but like, is there something that we haven't experienced before?
No, I'm gonna be super honest right now.
Go.
Because he's not. I said, and I know every single woman in a hetero relationship has asked it, maybe even all, I don't know, but I know at least hetero. It's boring. And you say, what's your fantasy? Like, what is it that you're thinking about? What is it that you want?
Yeah.
And eventually.
Yeah, years later, like years after, married for years.
And then eventually you say it.
Yeah. We
were married in 2009. He didn't say this until 2017. And we were going to a wedding. We didn't have our kids for the weekend. So, and I asked and he told me. And what I said, what was your fantasy? And it had, was this. Yeah.
Oh,
and then
that makes me feel good.
But that did start. That conversation though did start.
That was
our sexploration is what I'd call it. Like we
dirty 30s.
Yeah,
everybody's. That's the new. Everybody in our generation, as soon as they're hitting 30, 31, they're all going through a whole. Oh wait!
I think it's reclaiming what I think people in our generation, like I'm going to say millennials, I don't typically like that, but are reclaiming their like I don't say sexuality, but just like they're like, I really wanted this, and I was kind of pushed towards get married, start popping out kids, white picket fence, kind of the generic, nothing wrong with it, but generic kind of American dream, have kids for 80 plus years, and then that's it. So I think going into that as like a young 30-year-old, and you're like, oh, kind of disillusioned with that. Like in the same ways, not to get too deep here, but in the same ways that I feel like I was disillusioned with college, because my whole life as a kid, I was told go to college and you'll get a great job and things are going to look up for you, and they have. But also I get like really bent out of shape, like, oh, we had to go to college, and in that same framework, you have to be with one person the rest of your life, and it has to typically be a female-aligned, diverse person. So I think, jumping off the dirty 30s thing, people are rediscovering that and seeing like that's non-typical relationship styles are actually a lot more common, even like historically. So
well, it's not even just your sexuality too. It's like your mental health and everything, because we're like, wait, this is, I'm not really quite happy. What if? And I feel like there's so many people that it's not sexuality for some people, it's like mental health, or their physical health. I could scroll through my Instagram and all of the people I know that are our age, they are either going through like weight loss journey or a mental health journey, or a lot of them gotten divorced. Good for all y'all women. Y'all need to get divorced. Most of y'all anyway. But it's like there's some sort of thing about 30s lately, and
I think
we jumped on bandwagon.
It could be where, like, I don't want to say people mentally mature, because that's probably not true, but like there was this kind of eye-opening moment when I was like, and it like my I guess we could say my journey started last summer, where I looked back at all, my romantic relationships, or even like very deep friendships, and realized that there was this kind of common thread of three. There was always, me and a romantic partner and another person. Typically, it was I was involved with
third wheel,
a third wheel, but also like an incredibly close third wheel. Like if there's a wheel in between.
It was a wheelbarrow. That's what that
right?
But guess who has always had a third person carting around taking care of somebody our entire lives? Us. So
it looking back, it kind of matched my kind of just friendship style, relationship style, and I think I kind of saw it last summer as a chance for me, like, actually this is viable. I can do this. There are kind of ways to do this.
What did you call it, Lauren?
I don't remember.
What did you call it last summer?
I don't remember. I don't actually remember. Oh yeah, I was doing my alternative summer, because it's such a silly little word, but it's very because we're Southern. I don't know if you know this. We're all in the South of America, so it's being kind of like pushed towards, I'm going to say, heteronormativity or heterosexuality is just kind of like expected, I think, for a lot of not just people in the world, but mostly in the South, kind of conform. And that didn't sit well with me. It hasn't sat well with me for 35 years. And so like last year, I think I took more responsibility, and I wanted to do a lot of, I did a lot of independent study and a lot of honestly counseling, and realizing that it wasn't about just dissatisfaction. I just felt, and we talked about this earlier, like feeling inauthentic, because I felt like, and maybe you guys can speak to this as well, of like there's something not just missing, but there's something more. I'm capable of more. I have more to offer, more to give, more to accept, and
you feel like an imposter.
And not or.
Yes, it was what or and instead of or, as opposed to like why do I have to pick? Why? And like
two things can be true.
Yeah, two things can be true. And speaking of, if we want to speak to a little bit of the bisexuality of it, why would you deny yourself half the world experiences? Like, why would I? But also, like, not just in a relationship, but in a friendship, in a platonic. There's a lot of different layers to it. It's not just one. So it's I don't know, you even saw earlier how we problem solve like the microphone and being able to have multiple people to help us.
Yeah,
it was it's kind of like I think I mean, even you right now, think about the people you have in your life that are or are not romantic, are or are not platonic, and see how it literally takes a village, like not just to raise a child, but to raise, I think, a healthy person, because there are people that you can think of in your life that you would take a bullet for, no questions asked, or fight a bear for. I think those are the relationships that really bind people. And I don't know, like this kind of seems like taking it a step further. And I enjoy it. I like it. And it makes more sense to me in my head in that way.
That to me, everything you've said is about something that people really don't think about this as being. And for me, that is the bigger picture of self-actualization.
Yeah.
There is, and we're not advocating anything. What we're talking about is what makes you feel like you are living your truth as you're here. And let me tell you, we can do all the religious stuff we want to. We can do all the philosophical stuff we want to. The truth is, everybody is born here as an individual into some sort of society that has some sort of rules.
Right.
When you start to question those rules, it very often makes people in that society feel uncomfortable because people like predictability. But we are individuals who are here for something, to me, so much greater than just the very small things that are put into our everyday. And ways that we self-actualize can vary. It could be from hobbies, it could be from work, it could be from reading, it could be from having different relationships. My guess is, based on what you've said, the three of you, is that idea of who you are has expanded now that you have explored something that was not the norm that most people are brought up, as you talked about, Elle, learning that they are supposed to do, but instead choosing your own path and being able to see what that feels like. And for you, it felt more fulfilling. Yeah. And it's not like you're killing anybody, you're bothering anybody. It's consensual. You're not, hurting people. This is all with consent of all the parties involved.
And that's the difference, isn't it?
To more who you are.
Yeah, I think that's the very crux of it, because I agree. I think Elle said this is not a new thing. This is like, we've changed this, we've morphed these thoughts or ideas and behaviors over time. And I mean, a long time. If you think back when they were kings and queens over in Europe and the way that they held their house, the way they did things, it was inside the house, but not necessarily everybody was okay with it, but it was happening. And, chambermaids, and you go back to the US, and as Black people, we understand all about that, because women and enslaved women had to deal with this. Not consensual, though.
Right. Yeah.
So the idea of this is not new. The behavior is new, because you guys are intentionally looking for, what is a relationship to me? What does it really mean? And I know one part of it is sexual. Okay, that's something. But really, our relationships are not about sex. They're about committing to each other and finding common ethics, not values, morals, all of that. And the way you want to live life. If you want to live life where, a household, we come together and we buy 500 acres of land so we can build. I mean, this is relationships.
How did you know? That's what we. That's everybody.
I'm putting myself in your shoes.
Every polycule wants their own specific, and it usually is a bunch of land.
There's typically chickens involved, and someone wants to buy a bookstore as well.
Or cows.
But you're right in that, like, historically we've seen this before.
Because we want to be with the people that love us and understand us and
live their best life doing so.
Yeah, so we get him, but his wife is also our friend.
She's a big part of the relationship that you guys have with each other. Yeah.
Their friends are part of our life. So it's like it's
you brought that too. Social circle. And one thing I'm thinking as well talking too is that, talking about rules, like monogamy was always the ideal, but was never really to your point, Renee. But monogamy fails 65% of the time.
Yeah.
And it's some of that is also because the society defines what monogamy is to a lot of people. So there's, when some people having lunch with someone who is the opposite sex would be considered cheating to them, because that's what monogamy culture has told them, is like, you shouldn't interact with women who are not your wife. Well, so my growing up experience, though, I was mostly friends with girls. Like, that was not, I did not have a lot of guy friends. So that was not
actually weird.
There was like
weird.
Not weird. There was like five or six of us girls.
Yeah.
We were a very motley crew. There was like me, there was a redhead. We had a lot of ladies who were Jonathan's posse.
but we so we
never told me.
That was early, John.
Fourth grade.
Fifth grade.
No, this is high school.
What did you say what the K that you said it was?
A posse.
A posse.
A posse. Oh, okay.
Female part.
He's
not who to stick with.
Yeah. They say I collect goblins. I'm the goblin wrangler.
Our brain, Kay and mine's brain are very similar. We bond over that, but also the fact that Jay recognizes that kind of like same mental connection that
we're also introverted and anxious.
Yes. the same connection that he has with her that he can also have with me, and it's very we talked about like monogamy, like not having a meal or sharing a meal with someone of the opposite gender, opposite sex, like that that would be considered cheating to someone, but also that would, I think,
people have questioned you at work.
Yes,
about hanging out with like a client who was female. They're like,
it doesn't, monogamy, in my opinion, doesn't encourage men to have female friends and females to have men, because it would be nice, like, oh, we're just friends, but there's always that kind of like, but you know, the whole aspect.
I find that to be our burqa. You know how we like to talk about how over in their countries and women don't have any rights, and women they can't show their clothes. To me, it's almost the same thing as, you know, in America, we put all these things in your head to make you conform.
Now it's like, oh, you like an Instagram photo. That, you know, like, so everything becomes everything. Yeah, it's this whole jealous culture.
Yesterday, I read about a woman who offered, it was hot, and she offered to the person who was bringing the FedEx guy, water, and he was on the phone with his wife at the time. The next day, he came back and said, my wife wants to talk. And the wife totally inappropriate.
What?
Of you. Degrees out there. I was trying to be kind.
Don't flirt with my man, let him die.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And that was all it was offering him water.
Yeah.
And as it turned out, that was too much. So it's like even voluntarily buying into, not having imposed upon you, just having imposed upon you, but you buy into the idea that you cannot be friends with a man in any other way.
But the funny thing about that is,
we're not even friends, just being kind. That wasn't even friendship.
Be human.
Yeah, but it's also, those things are generally not spoken out loud. So they're like, oh, you should have known that, versus I clearly gave you that boundary.
Right.
One thing that the poly, you know, world for us has really taught us is there are no rules. So you have to make them, and making them is hard. Like it's not easy to define what these relationship structures look like when we have no pattern for what a trio looks like.
Everybody's completely different.
So it forces you to say the things out loud that society tells monogamous people how to act. But when you enter this world of like we can love other people, and there is still jealousy, to be clear. Like, jealousy is not, some people look at us and say like, oh, how can you not be jealous? Oh, jealousy is a normal human reaction, but do you use that jealousy as a weapon, or do you use that jealousy as a way to learn about yourself? Why do I feel jealous? It's because I'm feeling some discomfort or some insecurity, and that's my problem that I would love help with sometimes. As a partnership, that you can rely on your partners for help. But that it makes you come at every problem from a blank slate of, okay, we don't know what this looks like. So how do we build it in a way that, to get back to your point, you know,
and that's good, because if the fact that in some ways we all don't know together, we're all learning, and we have, like, there's rules, but there's also agreements, and then this type of relationship almost forces us to be, it's not just over communicating, but just like, hey, I'm anxious about this, or I'm worried about this. I want to have a real honest, heavy discussion.
We also have the added, we're 4 hours apart.
Yeah, long distance relationship is
it's
hard. Yeah, it's not easy.
Oh my
It's
God.
not easy.
Let me tell you, twice divorced, well, 3 times if you count when the longest relationship for 15 years was with a female, and 2 males divorced. But you know, get Valentine's cards from all of them. But
That's right.
I didn't get a Valentine's card. What's
think about our divorce rate and how hard just dealing with one other human being is.
Yeah.
I can't imagine what it's like to try to juggle all of those pieces, and there is no guide, and you're figuring it out as you go through, and it's long distance.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, the long distance part is a tough one. Now, did you?
It is. We say it all the time, but it's forced us to communicate in different ways and have structured communication.
Which is a part of self-realization. You learn so much more about yourself, don't you? That you never would, because the occasion would simply never arise if it was the regular relationship that people are used to seeing.
So I'm interested in finding out. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
No, go ahead.
Did I understand, Elle, that you have a wife?
I do. Yes.
So how did she get into this? Because it's not. That can't be a couple anymore, can it?
It's not. This is the throuple. I have a wife. She's great. She's amazing. She's back in Alabama, but we've been married, and we've been together for about 15 years, but we've been married for about 8. And she and I started our I'm going to say our polyamory journey or ethical non-monogamy journey officially last summer. But we always, and she, in the same way that I had, she always had more than one person, really such a strong relationship, a strong platonic relationship, a romantic relationship with more than one person. And kind of as you kind of do that through monogamy in kind of awkward ways. But we both realized that we were both, we joke about this, but like we're both a little bit more gayer than we thought. And
everybody is.
In my experience, everyone's a little bit gay.
If you say you're not, then you're extra gay.
Yeah, I definitely think it's a spectrum. Obviously, it's a spectrum, and
Extra a little bit.
we both realized like, hey, I'm interested in pursuing this goal, but not doing it behind your back, not cheating, not having someone on the side, or just not talking about it. That don't ask, don't tell stuff. We said we want to know everything, and we can determine our level of involvement. So my partner, my wife they're very, very good friends with Kay and Jay. Like they are
very similar. His wife
yes.
And Jonathan, Jay.
Yeah.
We're the ones looking at the plants together.
Very, yeah. So
it's
interesting that it also like this style of relationship or this style of like love, like it shows you what your tastes are and what your boundaries are and what your what your type is, because there's sometimes when Jay will do something and I'll almost say I'll say my wife's name. I'm like, what do you do? And I'm like, wait, that's the boyfriend. So it's showing you yourself, or I feel like I've seen myself more in this past year, and also like being able to advocate for myself. That you guys have shown me like no one's going to speak up for me. No one has to. That's not their responsibility. But like I am my own best advocate, and I can ask for help. I can ask for guidance. I can ask for boundaries. But no, the wife is supportive, and also
and she has a girlfriend.
She has her own people as well, and like I know about them, and
we've all hung out.
We've all hung out, and like
we went out for wife's sibling's birthday.
Yeah, we like, and think of it. Imagine having
We also went on a family vacation in the mountains for our middle son's birthday.
Yeah, so like, and my wife loves your kids, like interacts with them, and to the point where sometimes when I come over, they said, "Hey, when's so and so coming? Where's the wife? Like, we prefer her." In a way that makes sense to her and it makes sense to us. And she has her people, I have my people, and we mix and mingle and separate. But it's all out in the open. There's no.
And that's the point. That is exactly where this is different than anything, even a monogamous relationship or a gay relationship. The difference is the way that you all are vulnerable, putting yourself out there and your feelings all the time makes you closer. And a lot of people don't understand that. That's not the way we're trained in this society. And if we talked more about mental health, we would know that speaking our truth actually helps us be healthy versus, keeping it all under wraps. And it's incredible. I mean, I call it fluid when you can see somebody first in another light, and then you see yourself in another light, because opportunities arise when you open your mind. You said that there's different things you do now. That's because you have different tastes. That's because you taste it. If you don't taste it, you don't really know if you like it or not, right? So you tasted it, and you got more. I want some more of that. And then what if we put some of this in? What would that taste like?
Have your cake and eat it too, as long as everybody knows.
It's way more buffet for me. And that's
like an ice cream. Ice cream and cake.
It has layers.
Cake.
But it's. I don't think anybody. I think people can do this and stumble, and there's tons of growing pains, and I think
everybody's looks totally different. A lot of people probably say we do it completely wrong, and I don't care.
Yeah, I think there are as many different relationship styles as there are relationships, because you can have the exact same relationship that we have, but also not long distance or across the planet or a language barrier. So like each one of those is a different instance of a different relationship style.
Or having no kids involved.
Or no kids involved is one, or having, or all of us having kids.
Or being in a big city.
Yeah, like it's very different. But I do think it's funny that we talk about like finding the individual, and especially I think in American culture, we love our rights, we love our freedoms, we love our me, my. All about the individual. We're individualist culture. But then when you step outside, the monogamy or the I'm gonna say religious norms or typical, that people go, I don't know about that. You're being a little too individual there. It's kind of such a.
But everybody wants to be able to make their own choice.
Yeah.
But they don't want other people to make their own choices.
There it is.
That's exactly right. And
that's why women choose the bear.
I agree. Yeah, of course I choose the bear. That makes sense.
Unless you get you a bi boy.
The bi boy, that's true.
Or two bi boys.
It's great.
I'm collecting them.
Pokemoning, I think is the term. It's the joke.
Well, I think one of the things that's interesting about what you said is that when you say, people stick to the rules. The truth is, like John said, they don't.
Yeah, they don't.
Okay,
No.
people say this is what we should have, but they are
But I'm gonna do this.
serially
Yeah.
cheating on their spouses.
Right.
Or even like there's reality
Yes.
TV, there's soap operas. Even people who are monogamous, glamorize that. Like, oh, I would never.
There is nothing monogamous about Bachelorette.
I know there's that's just one
Okay.
big poly show.
Yeah.
It's just, but it's very.
But they make them choose
That's a
one.
harem
Which is,
show,
that's
not a
what
poly show.
was so wild about it, though, that they make them choose
Mhm.
one. So you break people's hearts
Yeah.
that you really love and care about. Because this is the right way to do it. You can only do it this way. You can only have one. That is part of the rules. You can't choose two.
And I do agree in that, like, monogamy has and all relationships, all cultures have like these unspoken rules. Like, oh, you don't, you always do this or do that, or we don't talk about that. There's that kind of like in polite conversation, you don't mention these three things. And I hated that as a kid. I didn't know things, and my parents would tell me, but they would say, "Hey, don't ask this in public. Don't ask this at a friend's house because there's kind of like it's a faux pas, it's down upon." And in this instance, I think polyamory specifically forces you to ask the tough questions pretty much almost daily. Sometimes, do I still like this? Do I want this? How am I getting through this in a kind and ethical way? And speaking even
Every
like
day, commit to it every day. It's another commitment.
Speaking of people who serially like cheat as well, like. What's the site? Ashley Madison.
Yeah.
The Ashley Madison. Like their slogan.
All the politicians were on there.
Oh yeah, and the thing is, it's not cheating. It's life is short.
Grindr too.
Yeah, life is short. Have an affair. Like there's this kind of like, oh, the other woman, the other man, as opposed to just like, hey, we want different things. About you, still we both get what we want, and because there are certain things that I think I can provide that some people can't, and vice versa.
Well, and I think a lot of people are closer to poly than they realize.
Yeah.
Because especially with a lot of people our generation, because that's what I see the most, so that's what I can speak on the most. But most people have their like really good group of friends.
Mhm.
As a parent, you see parents are friends with other parents because they become friends because their kids are friends.
Yeah.
And then they go on vacation together. They go to each other's kids' everything. They babysit, they do this. Just because our hobby is different.
Yeah. And really, it's not like
it's no different than hanging out with your friends.
Yeah. Poly is like I do hate that we kind of started this about sex because that really wasn't that was part of the journey, but it's really so much more than that. Like
about sex,
no, but
Did I miss it?
but it really is in the like community of people that you surround yourself with.
Yes.
And you're just opening yourself to be vulnerable to those people. There are people in the poly world who would consider someone a very close partner with, that they snuggle with, and they like hold each other and they're intimate with each other, but would never like be naked together. That's actually how I see Lauren's wife. Like we will snuggle on the couch in a hot minute. We are not sexual
Usually
together.
talking about plants.
Usually talking about plants.
Or
just,
horticulture.
I'm a touchy-feely person. I've always hugged my friends. I've always been like that kind of person. But this community of people, though, like when you allow yourself to have those intimate moments with other people, then that just builds your tribe even more and gives you that strength to move throughout life with your people.
And if you're comfortable enough to share even that knowledge with the people around you, that I'm like, say when we were hanging out with his family, and by family I mean wife and
friends,
wife's girlfriend, like it is, they know all of it. And so when you know like something like that deep of a person of your sexual preference or your relationship preference, it makes everything else easier to share, because it's like, well, I know that. So everybody, you get to a more comfortable, happy, safe place, because even if you have no part of it, we're being so vulnerable that you feel like you can about anything. And you can.
And you see, we get back to that question on Monday morning. What'd you do this weekend?
Yeah.
It's a very different question if you're talking about people who already know that this relationship exists, because then you can be honest about what you did. You don't have to feel inauthentic.
I snuggled with my boyfriend's wife. Like that one doesn't quite get
there's a lot of like eyebrow raises that would happen. Like if I was, I'm honest with my friends, but I wouldn't my coworkers. One, because it's none of their business. I'm a kind of private person at work. But it would cause some eyebrows to be raised, and someone, did I hear you right? You went on a vacation with your wife and your boyfriend and your girlfriend and your kids.
Business if I am hetero and straight.
Yeah, I'm a relatively private person at a podcast. But I think
they can go all over the world. Right? I know.
Two people.
Yeah. But I think what Kay's getting at is also like when I think this type of relationship, where I hope that all relationships, even monogamous ones, show and are based in vulnerability and not weakness, but in like, support and care and collaborate. Like it's literally like my big thing is like collaboration and authenticity as well. Like
because the more you're honest, the people can help you in your community, and that helps you. It forces you into collaboration, which is what you want. I have to tell you guys this. This is my confession to all listening and watching. I was in a throuple for a number of years.
Okay, tell us more.
Dish.
Let me guess. One guy, two girls.
Was it? Yeah. What's the dynamic?
Y'all are too funny.
If you don't mind sharing.
No, I want to share because you just enlightened me. I didn't know I was in one. Yes, my husband and I lived with I call her my sister. She's very, very, very close to our family. Has always been a part of our family. And her marriage did not work out, and she needed help. She just had a child. He was not around. And I needed help because I had 3 kids. And he was working all the time. And I was trying to be in school to finish up university after only going for 17 years. But hey, I was trying to get that done.
Yeah.
You were trying to take care of yourself and your family.
Yes.
Yes.
And look at that, you got help from someone else.
I did. She lived with us for years. All 3 of us lived together. There was nothing sexual between them. And eventually there was nothing sexual between me and him. But we still lived together for a period of time because we needed each other. We were trying to achieve certain things. All of us were. We had our own individual needs that did not align with being by yourself. It had to have community involved. And so I was in a throuple.
Yeah.
And I was glad to be in a throuple. And I raised my kids in that throuple. And I raised other people's kids in that throuple because that was what made us be successful. It's communing with each other.
Yeah. And every it's a parent thing to say it takes a village.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's it.
Never.
Yeah.
So my village isn't going to look the same as that person's, but that's okay because my kids and my family are getting what they need and more.
I often feel, this is just my opinion, but like when people say it takes a village, they basically, close it in around childhood. But like, imagine it takes a village for adults. Like, imagine like having support from people at home, and not all throuples or quadruple have to be any kind of romantic or any of that. It's just think of the people that if you could have a big house and lean on for support in any kind of way, who would be in those 5 or 10 different rooms, and you have a list in your head. And I think that's what like breaking out of that kind of like monogamy appearing, straight passing relationship, kind of like breaking out of that is important to me. Because like if I could have all my friends on a big plot of land and everyone has their own 10 acres, and it makes me feel happy thinking about that. Actually,
this is funny because I sat in the car on the way here. We drove together and he drove. We met each other.
Yeah, we met.
So we were talking in the car and saying that they don't have kids. His wife, they live with kids enough, but they take care of the adult of the world in their circle who need to be taken care of.
Yeah.
Yes.
They're the adult,
the safe house, like
safe
house.
Yeah, the caretakers. Yeah,
they're helping the adults who didn't get taken care of enough as kids. Yeah. They're like giving them space to be taken care of by friends, and like that in itself is, to me,
so healthy.
Like,
I think that's healthy.
Yeah, and I think, and you can say what you want about my opinions on capitalism, but like
there's a lot
you can say. There's a lot, and
there's a whole different show.
But it doesn't capitalism specifically, American capitalism, it doesn't encourage working together. And I say all the time when we're having, just all 3 of us time together, or all 4 of us time together, or some combination thereof. Why don't people do this more? Like we have to tell people. Like I feel loved, supported, taken care of. I feel like I have influence over my life and other people's lives.
It's empowering.
It's empowering. Yeah, it's scary in some ways.
And think about what it is you're saying. This is the part that's most important to you, and it's not what people think about.
It's not what's in their head.
Think about polyamory, which is why something like this that actually gets to explain to people what it is so important. Renee's piece, nobody would think of it as that, even though you yourself, Jonathan, said it's not like sex is what we're talking about.
That's just what people instantly think of when they think of romantic relationships.
And it's the same way with any LGBT or LGBT thing. You really think about it with T2. Sex is the part that draws people in, and it's like, y'all.
But they don't say
who
that.
Has sex 24/7?
Yeah.
Okay, you gotta have life outside of that.
Mhm.
And that really is what we're talking about here.
We go on dates together, like just like you would
Independently.
imagine, you know, like a normal
Yes.
relationship. Go
Couple
on
would
date
do, right.
in a relationship is about definitely isn't for us.
Yeah, there's times where you guys are on a date, or we're on a date, or we're
Yeah.
on a date, or even sometimes it's wonderful to be able to say this, and that like I'll go a date with Kate, and then Jay will go with my wife to go to the plant store, or they'll have their own thing, and it's obviously
Meanwhile, we get some coffee.
we get some coffee and take a nap, yeah. But it's having the availability to kind of like I don't know,
Just doing whatever you want.
being,
We're adults. It's
being
hard
independent,
enough.
being independent together, but also coming back together as a group and be like, oh, what'd you do on your day? Oh, we did this. That sounds like fun. It's like it's
Sure glad I didn't have to go walk around in the heat.
That's true. But
It's
it's
somebody else to do it because you
Yeah,
can't be.
something like Friends, y'all.
I'm so with that.
Friends, the TV show.
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
familiar. Some of us.
That
Yeah.
really is what we're talking about.
Listen,
So-
that's one of my favorite
Live
shows
in
of all
one
time. So
place.
It
you
is.
don't have to tell
They
me.
were people who were mutually supportive of each other.
Think about any of
Living
this.
single.
That's true.
Living
Yeah.
Single. Oh, I remember that.
Yeah.
Living Single. That's great.
So,
Three's Company, one of the
Yeah.
most popular
Oh my
shows
gosh,
ever.
wow. Yeah.
Grace and
Will and
then
Grace.
we have
Will and
another
Grace.
one.
Yeah.
Grace.
Yeah.
Grace
Grace.
is better, yeah.
Grace.
Right.
Grace is right.
Grace.
and
Oh
Frankie.
my gosh, I
Yeah.
There
love
was only
that.
two of
So,
them,
well,
but
like what I'm hearing is that
mutual support.
media, even
Yeah.
very popular media, has shown us, I would say, like obviously they're written for an audience, but like they are Edenic in some ways. Like if I had 6 friends that lived across the hall or in the same building as me, like when I was in college, I would be like, oh, I'm going to go on a date with Ross, and then later I'm going to have spaghetti with Joey, and then Rachel's going to take me shopping. Monica's going to teach me to cook. Like imagine having that, and also being part of that. I'm going to go. You know, Elle's going to teach me to do whatever. Like
You can't be somebody's everything.
yeah, it's impossible. I think.
And
Impossible.
nobody's good. Nobody
And
likes
you're-
the same exact things as you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah. Even you
we
after
like
a
a
while.
lot of the same things. He thinks he can't even begin to like get
Fathom,
because
yeah.
it's just different kinds of brains, and it's really fun to do things I enjoy with somebody who I love,
Mhm.
and he's doing the same thing.
So,
And you guys
I
are
wanna introduce the term
growing to each other. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
So a PLP is a platonic life partner. So it's kind of
Wow.
that it in the world it's kind of like it
Grace and
gives
Frankie.
yeah it gives
Yeah.
that whole like a life partner is somebody you're doing life with, but they're
Mhm.
platonic. It explicitly excludes the sexual component of it.
Mhm.
And I
Mhm.
think that's one of the most beautiful things about poly so far is I have obtained a lot of those PLPs that are part of my life now that I do like get so much just personal fulfillment out of that relationship with those people.
Yeah.
So it really is about that tribe getting bigger.
Okay, fine.
Tell us about
Yeah,
your
like that
parents or your family's knowing, because that'll be a big question that people have. Does anybody know?
Do you-
I'll go first.
You wanna go
Well,
first?
this one first.
no,
Anybody
yes.
else?
Mine don't know.
Okay.
But my family, while my extended family is large, my immediate family is small. Just my mom and my sister. My dad passed last year.
Awesome.
And as of, I mean, they don't even know what books I'm reading. So
Yeah.
they don't even know really what kind of books I would choose.
If you really want to talk about sex, ask Kelly about the books that she reads.
Okay.
But your family.
That's
doesn't
beside
know.
the point. Yeah.
Your family
Thank
doesn't
you.
Yeah, no, her family does not know. Also,
Yeah, no, they don't know. And
Yeah.
I don't care if they know. Let's be
Okay,
clear.
I was gonna ask you about this, yeah.
I don't care if you know.
Okay.
But I had
It's actually.
to get a little pokey.
But so my family knows. I have always been incredibly open with my family about a lot of different things. My parents were very giving us space to talk about almost anything, just from childhood on. And I said to Dr. B on the phone the other day, I'm in my effort stage, you know, where like I am going to talk about the things that I want to talk about. If they make you uncomfortable, I'm sorry, I'll stop talking about them. But these are like, here's an important person in my life. This is Elle. This is what Elle means to me. And this is, how you may see him around at different family things. And my family's really embraced him. I think it's pretty adorable. A couple months ago, we had you and your wife for a cookout. And his wife's like talking to my dad, and they're over there grilling together, and mom's like talking to Lauren about something, and it just really is like my family has really embraced it. They don't understand it, like they don't get why this is important to us, but because it's important, they are at least have an open mind about it.
It's not the only life choice we make that they don't align with and agree with. So his parents, it's just another one of those things. Like
we still love you, son. You know, it's a.
His mom would never dye her hair 7 different colors. But she
also said she
when I
wouldn't
do
get tattoos either, and she has 4 now. So.
But also not judgmental. I'm never talking to you again. And I think that's kind of typical.
In a very conservative environment. That's a really important piece.
Yes.
She grew up a totally different way, but is willing to accept her son. And you all of you.
Very rare.
Because that's very rare. But it shows you it can be done.
Yeah. I do feel like it needs to know that I do have a habit of I'll just cut people off. Family, I don't care. I don't. If you do not bring me peace and joy at least part of the time, why?
Yeah.
So it's been known, we've been together this long. His mother is very, very special to me. She is the one I talk to because our marriage therapist told us something. She was actually our cool in therapy that I have taken to heart. She said, when y'all are having a bad time, when something's rough, complain to his mother. Don't complain to your friends. Yeah. Don't complain to your mother.
Talk to mom.
Talk to his mom because she's going to love him regardless. She's seen him through all his mess.
But she loves you enough to give you the space to talk
favorite.
about it.
Well, that's the whole other thing.
Space and time.
But she'll never stop loving me because of something she's dealing with about me.
Right. Well, but what I was getting at is his mother knew that she essentially had a choice. She could either accept it in the way that she knew how, or she could not have access to us and our kids. Because
that's
I will fight you over John.
I'll fight you over John.
But it's not even. It wasn't even a question, right?
No.
You don't have to worry about it.
That extra thing was there too as a motivator. So there's, she's able to see all the different people that it affects. It's not just her opinion, what she thinks.
Yeah.
Well, one of the things that is very much in alignment with diversity with you guys' relationship is other cultures come here and they do all live in one house until someone does better communally. Then they get another house and then they split the family. Some go to that house, but they're still there. They're still in the same, that's their community. And then other people come over and then they get a bigger house and then they split that house. And everybody starts to do better because of the initial, the core is there. It's all about family and coming together to build a life that is one that you want to live, not one that you have to live, right? Mm-hmm. So we see that with, when I was growing up, mostly Filipinos lived around where I did that came from other countries. And also Mexicans came from Mexico or they were second generation, whatever it was, it was always a house full of people. Mm-hmm. And there's a comfort in that. You can tell that people who are from that type of community grow well because they know how to work with other people. So when they leave the house and go to work, they know how to deal with multiple personalities and don't take everything personal. Like it's something that is so, everybody's on you about.
There are multiple adults there to check the adults because as parents, you're not always right.
Yes, exactly.
Hard to see the situation when you're in it all the time. It's really nice to get an outside perspective or an outside, just a little nudge about something. Like it's helpful. It's helpful. It's everybody needs it. Helps our kids grow. They learn so many different things. Right. You know what I want to learn how to do? Play the guitar and play chess. You know who knows how to play the guitar and play chess? Not us.
Well, that's an interesting thing too. I think looking at a child who has grown up in a house with tons of adults or tons of different relationship styles versus not even just an only child, a child that has just a mom or just a mom and a dad or just a dad. The nuclear family. And that, like, if you compare or see those when they grow up, is one more well adjusted? Can one kind of take hardships and be uncomfortable and keep moving, or ask for help, as opposed to I have to do this all on my own, or I can marry one person and they have to be my everything. And if they're not, I'm doomed to be stuck and miserable. And there's even talking about generations, like the in my mind the boomer humor of I hate my wife. I'm like, I can't imagine that. Like, I married my best friend. And I
did on purpose.
I cherish her, love her, and I'm involved with more people I love. I can't imagine like slagging someone like that, like kind of that kind of oh geez, roll the old ball and chain, and that I'm like ew.
It's apparently a relationship style. It's a girl style to be a husband's girl. You like to hang out with your husband. He's your best friend. Why are you marrying somebody that's not? Why are you marrying somebody that you don't want to spend all the time with?
Yeah, I don't want to.
They're going to go to the bathroom in the same house as you.
Yeah, I don't want to judge people who have that, but also like if your option is like authenticity and happiness and support, and
I will judge you if you are living authentically. Judging someone else, I'll judge you for that. Yeah, I'm not perfect. I'm very, very, very far from it, but I do what I want. You do what you want. Mind your own business.
I like that we're different. That's good. But I do think like just touching back on so Jay's parents know, Kay's parents don't, but you don't care. You mentioned
it's more trouble for me to do it because
I'm in that camp.
I said before that I'm spiky, especially about them. So I know my family and I know that what their initial words and reactions would. I can pretty much guess, and what I would say would not go back 36 years.
Yeah.
So
it wouldn't be about
Kelly doesn't fist fight; she fights with words, and she like the words that she can use. Like
in the nuts.
She knows how to make somebody cry.
But in the same way, like I haven't told my parents, but I definitely think they probably know in some respect. Like I don't spend a lot of time with them. We're close as what I think is comfortable for me in our relationship. But also they don't spend a lot of time with me and my wife anyways. I have I think a healthy distance, and that's okay. Like I think they've allowed me to be my own person and grow and develop, and they're supportive in ways that they can be, but I don't think I can ask them to just accept this big giant, this thing I felt like was always true about myself. Because part of me thinks they already knew, they already know, or they have seen me grow. They were kind of just waiting for the other shoe to drop, but also it's not my responsibility to teach my parents. They're smart, well-educated adults. They can investigate as much as they want or not. Like I know whatever they think. They love me. They care about me. They want me to be happy. They want me to be safe. But me trying to explain,
it's too much emotional labor.
It is. It's very similar.
It's not worth the out.
The noise, the signal to noise.
For his mother, his parents, 100%. I knew it because of who she is and how she has shown herself to me in the past in different situations that we've had in the 27 million years we've been together. Like, so I knew how she is a safe, comfortable person for us. And so I knew it was not going to be
someone willing to listen and willing to learn.
She would never say anything hateful or mean or anything intentionally to or anything about it. So if anything, she wouldn't have said anything. That would have been like the worst that she would have done. So
awkward politeness, like, oh,
okay, cool.
Whereas that's nice.
You don't say.
They don't know.
So
nobody's parents, I feel like, as adults, like your parents don't know everything you do anyway.
Yeah.
They don't know what kind of movies you watch. They don't know what you do in your basement.
Yeah, it's very just a really quick story. Like I was cleaning out the house for my mom and dad at one point, and I found my parents are older, a very old picture of my dad growing up in the hippie times. And like it's this beautiful photo of him with a guitar and like a blue jean jacket. It's sepia tone. He's leaning against a barn and he looks so like brooding, like when I was like 15. And like it struck me like he's not just my dad. He's just some guy. He's a person who has like flaws and ambitions, and like he's not just a single person. Like he contains multitudes, just like I do. And so like it was very kind of eye opening to be like he doesn't need to explain that to me. I don't need to explain stuff to him in some ways. But I don't know.
It's interesting thinking about the different layers of the relationship and what it how it ends up interacting with the greater world, because what you've done is create a very comfortable situation for yourselves and your friends. But at the same time, you had to do the work which you rarely have to do in just a straight heterosexual relationship. You've had to do the of making
so much more work.
Building your boundaries, feeling comfortable with what you're doing,
learning a lot about yourself and being okay with what you learn.
Yes, and realizing that, for instance, you talk about inauthenticity. You're not being inauthentic with your parents. What you've done is you've chosen what makes sense for them to know and what makes sense for them not to know. But it's not like you're living this lie with them. This is simply something that for you is not worth the effort of trying to tell them, especially since they probably won't agree with it. And the thing is, they don't have to in the first place. So why even?
I don't like
why even go
meatloaf,
to
and they don't agree with that. So
Probably a little bit. I get your.
There's some hard opinions on meatloaf.
Yeah.
Oh, gosh.
I
You know,
love
so Elle, is your wife's? Does your wife's name begin with an M? So you guys can be JK.
No, sadly, no.
But
it would be funny.
But this is a fun story.
Okay, hold on. I
What?
feel
Oh,
like-
you want to sell it?
I feel like yes, the go ahead, do that part. Do the.
I don't know what part you're talking about, but okay. So we were always J and K next to each other in the alphabet, and that's how this little old lady at church, she always remembered our names because she's like, "You're J and K, and you always sit next to each other." So that's how she remembered us. So we've just gone our whole relationship to something that was like cute as hell. So
We're cute.
when-
We're sick,
when it
really
was
sweet.
when it was time to have kids, we went through this process of finding like J, K, L. We didn't like any L names, so we looked at I names and we picked an I name for the first one. The second one, we did the same thing, and we were like, let's do an HIJK or an IJKL. We didn't like any H's or I's, but we liked another I name. So, okay,
H's or L's, and we like that.
H's or I's, but we liked another I, so we went with that. And we were done having kids until this precious little girl showed up 2 years ago. Surprise. And we can't stop the
She
I's.
showed up on October 2nd, by the way. That's her
Yeah,
birthday.
that's right.
October 2nd is her birthday. So she is our third eye. We really are done now. We will not
Hey,
procreate
That's what you said
anymore.
before.
I said that before.
I made that doctor
The
promise.
doctor promised. When we met Elle, it was quite a few weeks. Well, it was weeks after talking. I think it was at some point after we had met the first time, though, it just hit me in the head, and I said, "Oh crap, IJKL." Yeah, IJKL. So we just became JKL.
Oh God.
And
So
our
IJKL.
yeah,
like
and
iPhone,
so but to your
like
point about
iPad.
October 2nd.
Mm-hmm. His birthday is October 2nd as
Yeah.
well.
Yeah. So it's
Seriously,
What?
like she was born before we even met him.
Yeah,
Mhm.
I mean, like it's a small world, and sometimes it keeps getting smaller. Like I don't know if I believe in coincidence or fate or anything like that, but just it was nice to just be like, oh yeah, I will remember this birthday as well. Good. But no, yeah.
So that to answer the whatever your question was about.
JKL, yeah.
Biggest
Thank
you.
thing you would want people to know, what would be their takeaway from your experience?
I'll say that I don't like. I can speak to my experience, but I don't speak for the whole poly experience. They're like Kelly.
He doesn't even
Kay
speak for
said-
all three of us.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, for sure. I speak for myself.
Nobody speaks
myself
for me.
only. But there is so much more information now about ethical non-monogamy, and polyamory. So just do some research. There are actually some pretty decent podcasts out there. There are some really wonderful books. There are
There's
lots
way
of
more people out there than you think.
and
that are
I promise
into
you,
the same thing.
none of the research is going to be comfortable because all of it is about communicating better. That's what it all boils down to communicating better and more authentically and in ways that are helpful to whatever dynamic you're trying to build. It can look 1,000 different ways. It cannot include sex at all, but
That is
allowing
there's a
yourself
huge facet of it.
allowing yourself to love another person deeply and intimately can be a conversation that you can have with anyone if you do it from a place of really good mental health yourself. There's that laughter.
I'm sorry.
As far as takeaways go, I hope that so I didn't have language for this for a really long time. I said earlier that I didn't even hear the word bisexual until I got to college. So I didn't have language for it. If you've never heard some of these terms before,
Look 'em up.
just Google them. You can find good
Google it,
resources
Karen.
out there that are all about just communicating and being incredibly self-reflective is what it all boils down to.
That you didn't think that was going to be the takeaway.
Check yourself. Yeah.
When we said polyamory, you didn't think that was the
Right.
takeaway.
Most people don't.
Work on your own shit.
Work
is what
on
I say.
yourself first.
That's my takeaway. Work on your own shit. Mind your own business.
This is a family show. You're gonna have
Leave
to
me
beat us.
alone.
You're gonna have to please answer.
Right. Don't be mad at me because I'm woke.
So your takeaway is know thyself.
work on your own shit.
Work on your own.
Reframe it.
As you would have them do
I think there's a book about that.
That's a quote. That's a quote. There we
You know,
go.
the platinum rule is do unto others as you would like them. They would like you to do.
I've heard about
Like
it.
I
Yeah.
said, yeah.
I think
What's your
Is
take?
that
I think
the
my
same
take-
takeaway, Elle? Yeah.
I think people listening, you're probably already kind of poly already.
Yeah.
Like you're like, think about your relationships. They can be deep or shallow, you know, think of them like an ocean, and that like the ocean is incredibly deep, but also the ocean has shallows. Like think about that. So you're probably already doing some aspects of polyamory, and look at the word polyamory, many loves. You can't just love one person. That's impossible, I think. So like you're probably already doing it. You just maybe don't have the words for it,
or you don't think you're allowed.
or you don't think you're allowed.
You're an adult. You can do whatever you want.
It's a permission.
Mhm.
Yeah. So I think people are already.
We give you permission. Do whatever you want.
Yeah. They
Go
use
buy
it.
the Alani. Go
Yeah,
have the
go
ice
have your ice
cream.
cream.
Eat the
Eat the
pizza.
pizza.
Don't
I think
have
you're,
two
pro-
boyfriends.
you're probably already doing it. Like everyone, like
Yeah.
even you said, you brought up like, oh, I was technically in a throuple. Yeah,
Yeah.
people need support, and like
Right.
if you want to call it polyamory, if you want to call it like a hippie commune, if you want to call it like a really good bosom buddy friend,
Yeah.
it doesn't really matter. I mean, language is
Yeah,
important, but
but it's
you're,
not defining, yeah.
you're probably already doing it. Like if you have a poly, in my mind, poly.
Dungeons and
Yeah,
Dragons. groups.
the joke is like
It's very
people
true.
are into polyamory just to get a D&D group together, or people are in D&D just to get a polyamory group together.
Yeah.
Because there's a group of like cohesion and collaboration.
No, okay. Well, then is that how you guys met?
No.
No. actually.
We actually met on an app.
You know, the way kids date these days.
That's
The very rare instance that the internet and an app has brought people together. Like it's
and it's
so
the
rare.
only time it's
It's
worked.
the only time it's worked. Yeah.
And it was
There are not many poly dating apps.
No, this was
to be clear,
Fields.
Yeah.
and it's a generally a poly, and you put it. It's like any profile. You put it into a profile.
Yeah.
So if you have a problem with, like, a lot of people in the poly community get messages from people who match just to say ugly stuff to them,
Yeah.
and you're going out of your way to be rude. It's in my profile.
That person is a
You
job.
thought I was pretty, and you got
that
you
person
wasn't
needs a
gonna be the only
job.
one.
Or
That's just the internet.
But anyway, I had only been on the app like a month, and
Same.
I swiped through, and I pay for it because I don't. That is too much swiping and looking
There's
through
a free
people.
version.
There's a free
Yeah,
version, which
free
is
version,
fine.
You
You know.
pay for it, and you can see who liked you.
Yeah.
Way
Okay.
less work.
Mm.
Way less
Is
work.
that capitalism all that?
Yeah.
Is what being a woman is.
So it's the pink tax.
But and so he's cute. He has green hair. Oh, he
Yeah.
has a dog. He's weird. So swipe, and then he messaged me, or like it was like a us, but it was just me because
Yeah.
he doesn't do technology. Remember?
Yeah, we see the hour and a half before where we kind of stumbled through computers connected.
So it was, he was like, "Hey, my name is Elle,"
Nice to meet you.
and I responded. I think that
You
day,
did, yeah.
and then he messaged back, and I didn't respond. And then I messaged him back like a
Because
few
that's
weeks
kind of how
later.
she does. Like,
Yeah.
if you're not in a relationship, there's expectation that she will probably never respond to your text.
I gotta
Yeah,
protect my
or
peace,
return your
and
call.
I'm also autistic ADHD. So
That's okay.
you
That's
get
okay.
what you get.
Like, she will always answer my call and Lauren's call. She will always answer our text.
Nobody
but-
calls me anymore because they know. So at this point, if any person I like were to call me, I would answer, but you better be having an emergency
Yeah.
if I'm going to answer you.
But we met through the
Yeah.
Yeah,
really nice.
Well, and
And
he
he
he reached out twice.
Yeah.
Because
Okay.
I didn't respond, and it was really funny. And he was like, the reason I was like, all right, I'm gonna stop being lazy. Let me message him back. Is because he was like, how do you feel about unsolicited dog pics?
I was like, yeah, I think that's a very kind of like
Dog.
Dog
Dog
pics.
pics.
Like,
I was like,
pictures.
Pictures of his dog.
So-
Pictures of dogs. Yeah, dogs.
you know about
The OG.
about the internet, but it allows you to be anonymous and send whatever you like.
You can send any
You can send
pictures.
any pictures of, and so I said, hey, would you like an unsolicited picture of my dog? Here,
Yeah.
he's sweet. Here he is. And so it's I just wanted to share.
It's just very wholesome. Like,
Yeah.
things that,
Genuine.
when we look back on things, they're always really wholesome. Like,
I'm kind of square.
yeah,
I'm kind of
pretty
square.
cute.
Actually, yeah.
Pretty cute.
We could
Totally.
tell by the she was square.
Yeah.
I'm such a square. I'm such an alternative.
Tattoos.
Oh gosh, that's wonderful, you guys.
People to know.
Go to therapy.
Yeah, go to therapy.
Your work probably won't
Again.
work. Go to therapy.
Work on
Know
your stuff.
know
Yeah.
know thyself.
No, that's-
Know thyself.
Yeah, it is. It's
even-
very
I like the
like,
way Kay says it.
Work on your shit.
work
Work
on
on
your
your
shit.
shit.
God,
I'm
everyone's
working
got
on
it.
mine. You work on yours.
Everyone's got it.
And when
Yeah.
you're working at
Because
something,
by the time
you
I finish
figure
working
out
on
a
my
lot of
shit,
stuff.
I don't have time for your shit.
Yeah.
It is your shit and my shit. If I finally get a minute where I've had my shit together, I need to rest.
Right.
I'm
I need
relaxed.
to reap the benefits of dealing with my shit.
Yeah, I
Right.
need to read
But-
something else.
So I don't understand why so many people
Work on
take
your
so
own
much.
stuff.
Right, people take so much pleasure in telling you what you should do versus worrying about themselves and their stuff is falling apart. I
Right.
think that's part of the problem we have with why laws are being changed right now, because people want you to conform to their beliefs, which is so narrow and actually doesn't account for women's beliefs at all, frankly. But if you get down to it, women are just out. So
Yeah.
I'm glad that you guys are upholding your woman. Now, I was surprised. I thought Lauren was going to be a woman because these relationships
It's a common thing. Yeah, that's
better when they're two
Yeah,
men
that's
and a
the trope. I
man
think
versus
it's
two men.
a male and two
the
females.
trope in polyamory is two
That's
females
the
and a male.
fantasy.
Yeah.
That's the reality is like there are people who like a lot of different types of people who want to be
Yeah.
involved in relationships that way. So I think even in the kind of poly community, we're kind of a unicorn in that way. Not
Yes.
unicorn, but we're special in that way.
I will also point out that, like, so as a triad, so I know people like the word throuple, that's fine. People relate to it. I prefer triad. So a
Triad.
Triad.
Not throuple.
That's not, it's
Everybody
not,
You
their
can say
own.
throuple.
you can say
want
throuple
to.
if you like it.
A lot
I
of
just
people
prefer triad.
I have a friend who she's actually in a throuple herself,
Makes her own word.
and they're a bubble. They call
Yeah.
there's a
Yeah.
bubble.
You
And
can-
most
Yeah.
people
It's
who
an
have
idea.
some sort of polycule name it their own, but
Yeah.
especially like
Mhm.
little units, when you have different partners,
Mhm.
that's the unique thing. That's the relationship escalator is naming your relationship
Yeah.
or
The group
having
chat-
a
the group
theme,
chat has a
the
name
group
now.
chat. All the
So-
permeations of chats,
Uh-huh.
and it's we don't get engaged and have kids and buy a house and this. There's different stuff.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's all that there's to life.
But a triad is the rarest form of polyamory because it's so hard. I mean, you think
Not
like
easy.
polyamory can also just look like to some people that I date and K date separately. Like that is a form of poly, of ethical non-monogamy. It looks so different people. A triad is something incredibly special and rare. It is like a unicorn because 3 people interact has more failure points. So two people interacting has enough like tension and things that can go awry that with 3 people it takes foster this relationship and this relationship and this relationship and then the 3 of us together.
What was the word?
Permutations.
Permutations.
Well,
Yeah,
no,
that's-
it's permeation.
I think it's
permutations.
yeah.
I believe her.
The various permutations of
So we
this
date.
this triad, right?
We're married. We date.
We date.
And then they date.
Yeah, so it's
That's right.
1, 2, 3, 4, and then adding my wife into that as a involved in my relationship. That's like multiplies by another one, and
And then
their
she
partner.
has- yeah.
So it becomes like a
it's unique.
triad
It's
is
just a
really
different
different.
family.
It's a different way of doing relationship that includes dyads as part of that triad in healthy versions of it,
Okay.
at least that I have seen. So.
that is people. A lot of people say that there's no way threesomes can be ethical because there's no, or not threesome,
Yeah,
whatever. They're saying that
Triad,
there's
yeah,
no
right.
way it's ethical because you can't force 2 people to love the same person the same. We don't.
yeah. Love each other differently.
I love him differently than he loves him, and I love him differently than I love him. And so you don't have to love everybody the same way.
That's where that DEI comes in. It's not equality; it's equity.
Yeah.
Mhm. Mhm.
Is really a big part of
Yes.
like even when it
Right.
comes down to time. Time is not always equal.
Yeah.
But it can be done in an equitable way. Now, that equitable way, again, it takes more work, it takes more conversation,
It's
it takes
effort.
more,
It takes caring
yeah.
about people.
and that's kind of
Absolutely.
it's the blessing of it is
You
that
can't be lazy though.
Yeah.
You can't just kind of coast and like, oh, the next step's like, well, we determine what the next step.
Well,
is.
and you have to think about other people constantly because if we want to do something for a weekend, when we're proposing an idea or proposing the weekend or whatever, we take into his wife's life and opinion into account because
and your
that
family,
matters.
like you have children.
And ours. And so it causes you to think about other people,
Yes.
think about how what you're doing, even if it's just going to the grocery store.
Yeah.
It
Like,
can make you more empathetic. It can make
Yeah.
you. It can not. It doesn't give you empathy or teach you, but it makes you go, well, let me talk about it with so and so first and see how we feel about that and bring that back. It forces you to be collaborative and it kind of like
helps you learn how to set boundaries.
Yeah.
And if you're not, then you hear about that too, right?
Yeah.
And then you learn to make that better. Don't do that again. which is not always the same when it's a heterosexual couple who don't seem to quite understand each other. So no matter how much talking you do, it doesn't seem to ever quite permeate. But like you said, you're forced into thinking about other people and how that is going to look to them. And if you're caring about somebody, you want to please them, right? So you're going to make sure that you do the things that you have to do to keep things tight in your triad. Love that.
It's the strongest.
Question for you guys. So I know you all are all together. You're a unit. Tell me, when you're doing movie night, what's your favorite movie?
We don't watch movies because
currently working on it.
He and I can't sit still long enough to get through anything. He's also squeamish about medical stuff.
So it's less of a polyamory.
You thought this was a simple question.
Yeah, not a simple question.
It's less of a. Imagine like getting 3 people to agree on any one thing is already difficult.
Yes. We had 2 people to figure out where to go to dinner. Add a 3rd person in there.
That's actually helpful when I can't decide.
We're working our way through the Lord of the Rings trilogy because that's important to me. They've seen it, but they're like, let's watch it again.
I'm more of a Harry Potter girl.
Yeah,
not J.K. Rowling. Let's be clear. Harry Potter and J.K. Rowling, 2 different things.
There's a lot there's TV is fun, but I get distracted and I can't watch more than 2 episodes. I have to get up and go do something.
Although I will say, if we did live closer, we would probably have a different answer.
Yeah,
because we have to be very intentional about time.
Yeah.
And a lot of it's for me, and I've always been this way, even with just our regular friends back, even before we had kids. Sitting and watching a movie is not really what it's not what I want to do, because you just sit there and you have the experience together, but you're doing it by yourself.
Yeah. So
I'm going to play a game, or eat some food, or
we play a lot of card games, which is my least favorite thing to do, but we do that a lot together. We cook together.
He can tell me no, but he can't tell both.
We do a lot of activities together. We'll do plant things that you want to do, but we also I enjoy things that they like to do, and they enjoy things I like to do, and it's collaborative.
We also go to the grocery store together, and he's like, "Hey, does the baby need pouches?"
Well, think about having another set of eyes. That's wonderful. So you don't agree on movies.
Your kids get to see all that diversity there with your, how you feel about things and how you work through it. And I just can't see that would not be helpful in their rearing, so that they can always see that you might want to get everybody's opinion, not just 2 people, or not just, I tell you, as far as in work life, that really happens. It becomes very important because you need to make sure everybody's involved in whatever it is you're doing at a job that you're trying to set some project forth, right? Make sure that it happens, it gets done the way it's supposed to get done. Everybody has a part. So I just see that your relationship at home
are really hard. Group projects with 3 or 4 people.
Everybody has strengths and weaknesses.
That's true, yeah. And I think we definitely rely on each other's strengths more than we dwell on our own weaknesses. So it's
almost out. Some of it's automatic at this point.
Yeah.
Like we said, he's super extroverted.
I'm not.
We're not
at all. This is probably the most extroverted.
We were gonna run away.
For somebody who was not extroverted, you busted out.
I'm telling you, you would have thought Jonathan was the one. I'm sorry.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Jay.
That's it. 5 people. That's
5 people. But I will say too,
I have 3 kids. So
both of them walked in, and Kelly even said, "I'm really outside my comfort zone right now."
Yeah.
Which is kind of great, because that was always something that we taled about in class, was getting out of your comfort zone.
Yeah.
And so,
oh my God, I've been a science experiment.
Hey, let me tell you, you're getting an A+. So just know that when you're stepping out of your comfort zone, and you have killed it, you crushed it, right?
Can I get some
recommendation?
Where's my letter recommendation?
I didn't graduate college because I can't. Again, I told you I can't do people, or people tell me what to do. Sorry, where was this going?
One more question, and this is probably going to spark more conversation than I thought it would normally. But if you want to go somewhere, anywhere in the world, where do you see yourself going?
Planet Earth, right? Not the moon.
She said world.
Okay.
What's the world? Yeah, what's the world? The universe?
Okay.
The world is the Earth.
Sorry, I gotta be
go to the moon. If you want to go out of the universe, you can do that too.
Yes,
we've traveled to. We did a vacation in the mountains recently, and we've done the beach a couple times. So those are always just kind of fun places to go. Anywhere. So
you mean together?
You mean is this an individual question?
Well, it normally is because we only interview one person.
Yeah. Okay, so where's your
first? We're gonna stay together.
Oh, you want to go together?
We're going to give all 4 answers.
Yeah.
Okay.
So my answer for both individual and together would be Ireland.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, I want to go.
It's great. It's beautiful. It's beautiful. I think that's my, my family long ago is from there.
Mine
It's,
too.
it's wonderful. I went when I was a really young kid. I got the opportunity to go when I was like probably 5 or 6.
Bougie.
We went on vacations. It was wonderful. So like I want to go back and I want to share that with the people I love. Like, and also I wouldn't just bring you guys. I would bring my wife and probably her girlfriend as well,
Yes,
and then our siblings. So
the whole tribe.
it would be a big
Kids.
constellation. The dog can come too. Yeah, the dog. So it's a very, for me, it'd be like a big, even personally, or a big constellation trip. All of us go over there to Ireland and like spend a week. That'd be wonderful. What's yours?
Okay.
Germany.
Mm-hmm.
Really?
Interesting.
First of all, because it's cool.
It's cool. Yeah.
We're going to go in the cool part of the year.
Yeah.
Oh.
Second of all, ever since I was tiny little girl, and I read way too many books way too early, I was obsessed with Anne Frank and the Holocaust, and I have always felt like I need to go. I need to go, and because it always I don't know. I always felt like it hit me different than it did everybody else in class. Like it didn't, and I know it's because I'm super empathetic. I know all these things about myself now, but it's always like I need to go, and I don't know.
More about it.
Like it sounds horrible to say I need to go and see it, but I feel like I need to go
It's
and
an experience.
experience it.
It's a humanity touchdown.
Yeah.
Mhm.
But also, there's lots of other different parts of Germany that are really cool too.
Yeah.
Really, I just want to go everywhere. So
Yeah,
that's a really
that's a
hard
hard
question.
The
one.
whole
for me,
planet for
because
Kelly?
also Italy is on there because Italy.
Yeah.
Italy's Italy. Huh?
So on paper, Elle and I should not get along because I would go to Scotland, not Ireland. My family is Scottish. It's my family crest.
Oh, look at that,
Yeah,
sweet.
family
Oh
crest.
my goodness.
We get along. We get along.
On paper we shouldn't.
On paper we shouldn't, but we
But we do.
Yeah.
We do.
Yeah.
But yeah, Ireland. It's just always. I've always wanted to go to Scotland and just do the Edinburgh family history search thing. So,
But what I would say with Jonathan, his actual dream throuple vacation is to go to an all-inclusive resort.
yes.
A resort would be cool. Yeah.
Yes.
I'm gonna go to
That's his-
hedonism.
He's going on a cruise, but I'm
It's more of a
Hedonism.
destination.
I have that. I went to Jamaica and Negril one time, and the next door resort was hedonism.
Was what?
Hedonism.
Oh,
Oh.
yes, I've heard of that.
I'm familiar.
Yeah, I didn't know it was that until I
Yeah.
looked over. I was on the beach and I looked over and I saw something that I don't think I was supposed to see.
Oh no,
I was-
yeah. If you didn't give consent, you shouldn't have seen it.
Yeah,
But,
you gotta give consent.
when you got
Well, that was because they were on the beach.
so
Yeah,
that's
so the-
that's the kind of one you want
So
to
the
go
beach.
to.
that's the kind I would like to go
Beach,
to.
yeah, the
Okay.
And
beach
they were
room.
just, they were just out there. Either you had some clothes on or you didn't, or you're
Yeah.
hooking up or you're not. It just
That's
was
it.
like, I didn't know where I was.
The mountains are way better. There's trees for that. Like you can get some privacy. Get some privacy.
So I didn't make sure. I was
Thank
like,
you
thank you guys.
so much. And this is a double thank
Yeah.
you for me, because not only did you agree to do podcast, but you came to see me.
Heck yeah. That was Kelly's rule. She's like, I'll do the podcast, but I have to have a Dr. BA hug to allow me the ability to do it.
And
So
you
we kind of made
did a great hug.
Yes.
It's the end of the summer too, and Elle's a school teacher, so it allowed us to have like one last little trip before everybody gets back to the rigmarole of life. Yeah.
It's nostalgia.
Yeah.
This is
Yes.
awesome.
That's great. I'm glad that you guys did that. And I know that, this is nothing, my auntie has not stopped talking about it. I'm going to have them. They're coming to the house.
Wait till she tells you all the plants I brought her.
Yes.
Oh,
Brought me
Lord.
lots of clippings.
I have to see that.
Needed them apparently.
Yes.
This is what my house looks like. By the way, all the plants.
More plants.
I was like, is that my backyard?
So
Horticulture.
thank you very, very much for doing this.
Yeah.
And thank
Yes,
you
and I also want to just note that you guys all want something to do with history. So even though you may want to go to different places, your purpose for going is the same. So that's
It's
beautiful.
information. We like learning.
Yeah.
We like learning. Yeah.
And thank you for teaching us. I really have to say I appreciate it, and I can't wait till we tell others about this as we get this podcast going out
Yeah.
in the
And they
public.
get
So we'll let you know.
Yeah, it is nice to be able to talk about it in a forum that's
Constructive.
because it's not, we're not having to like defend ourselves, but we're just getting to share what we've learned and what we
We don't represent anybody, or like we represent ourselves, but we don't represent all poly people or all
No.
different
And all
dynamic
poly
relationships.
people do not represent us.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
that. The Bachelorette is not. It's not us or
Yeah.
like.
And everybody, the biggest thing is ethical.
ethical.
Consent.
Yeah.
Consent.
Yeah.
It's sexy.
Use your morals, guys.
It's true. Consent is sexy.
Yeah.
Well, that's definitely something we
Talking
understand.
about it's not about sex.
I know.
But everybody should be aware of everything.
Yes.
May not be about sex, but I am sexy. So, yeah. You guys, thanks again so much. Have a great rest of your day. I know you guys are going to have a lot of fun, enjoy each other, and just please don't get in any trouble since I can't not help you. Okay?
Yeah.
I can't speak for them.
We're getting some food.
Yeah.
I'll be good.
Yeah. We'll be good.
I'll think about
Thank
it.
you.
I'll think about it. I'll think about it. I'll think
Good.
about it.
Right. Thanks, you guys.
That way. And you and Dr. BA have a history and have other experience to talk about that me and Lauren don't. So
That's
I was
true.
trying to create the 3 and then the 2 illusion with the person
But-
that could go between the 3.
Okay.
That's true.
What are you gonna say?
That's pretty good.
Oh.
That's
Well,
pretty good. I like the idea.
I do think from a
Awesome
technical
idea.
standpoint, I know.
I usually have the
Just
right
not that
idea.
practical. Typically, chickens involved, and someone wants to buy a bookstore as well.
Or
There's a lot
cows.
Or cows.
Cows.
Yeah. But you're right in that, like, historically,
Oh,
we've seen this.